Hi everyone out there, hope you're keeping safe. My name is Corey Brotherson and I am the editor and social media manager of Butterfly Books, as well as a writer and creative consultant. So you're probably wondering what that all means. Now, basically, my job is quite varied and each day is a little bit different from the last. For example, when I'm editing for Butterfly Books, it involves going through all the words that Karine and Jason have written and making sure it's grammatically correct, that there aren't any typos, and that it all makes sense. But it also means suggesting changes or offering ideas. And when Marissa does the illustrations, I also offer feedback as well. So I'm constantly checking the creative work right up until it's ready to print. Whereas the social media work means creating interesting posts and putting them on channels like Twitter and Facebook, which includes posting photographs from our launch events and also bits of work by the team where we think that would be fun and interesting for you to enjoy. On top of all of that, I've been writing professionally for about 19 years now, doing stuff like presenting on TV, on YouTube, writing web pages for companies like PlayStation and Yahoo, as well as actually creating my own comic books and graphic novels, contributing towards screenplays, and also most recently co-writing and creating video games. For example, one such video game, Windrush Tales, which is currently in development, and that's a text-based adventure where you play a Caribbean immigrant trying to start a new life in the UK during the 1950s. Despite most of my career being based in an office, these days I work from home and I travel when necessary. That sometimes means I have to go to London for meetings or to LA for a video game event called E3, or even places like San Diego to exhibit and sell my graphic novels at Comic Con. The favorite part of my job really is getting to be creative. I'm one of those lucky people who has worked to turn many of my hobbies, so stuff like writing, enjoying film, TV, comics, music, and change that into paying work. So watching someone enjoy something that I've written is an absolutely amazing feeling, as well as helping other talented people like the Butterfly Books team bring their visions to life. So if you're thinking of wanting to be a writer or edit as part of your career, then my general advice is to read and write. And I know that sounds a little bit obvious, but in my experience, having experience is a huge, huge factor in both of those things. From a young age, I was writing all sorts of reviews and stories, and that gave me a taste of what sort of work was involved in both of those crafts. But I also read a lot of books and magazines, and I got a really wide flavour of people's different types of writing styles and techniques. Going to college and university to study English and journalism gave me a formal education and the tools to sharpen those skills. But getting out there and writing and not being afraid to make mistakes, and more importantly, learning from those mistakes, really helped me build up my ability. And most importantly, it helps you find your voice, which is kind of like how you express your personality, your life experiences, and your personal viewpoint in your writing. So, when I mean your voice, your writing voice basically affects how you personally write, the sort of words that you use, the way you construct your sentences, the tone, all those things that are generally present through your writing, no matter whether you're putting together a nursery rhyme or writing a massive sci fi epic. Your voice will often start off a bit like all of your favorite writers and influences mashed up into one. But in time, you'll develop your own voice. And you'll only be able to do that really by writing more and reading other people's work and understanding what works and what doesn't work. And most importantly, what works specifically to you. Editing, on the other hand, is a little bit more mechanical than writing. So a lot of that comes with knowledge and understanding the do's and don'ts of writing itself. But my key bit of advice really is to take it bit by bit, chunk by chunk. It's really easy to feel hugely overwhelmed when you're having to pick through each word and each sentence of something. So these days, I break it down into three different types of edit. Firstly, I do a general read through, which is me making notes of anything that I spot and trying not to fix them there and then. This is really just to get a feel for the material and understand it. The second edit is kind of for sense. So, what I mean by that is going through it and making sure that everything actually does make sense from a storytelling point of view. If something isn't very clear or could be rewritten, this is where I'll make those sort of decisions. And the third and final pass is for spelling, grammar, typos. It's where I look for mistakes from generally how it's been written. So any missing words, any misspellings, that sort of thing. So you're kind of mopping up the stuff that you notice from the first two rounds of editing and read throughs. When I'm done, I leave it for a few days or more if the deadline allows for it, and then I go back and start the whole process again with a bit fresh eyes. I do this a few times as much as the time allows me to do it, just to make sure that everything is pretty watertight. Now, this process changes from project to project. So, for example, editing a large graphic novel is a little bit different from editing an article, which is different from editing a story for Butterfly Books. But it gives me a really good foundation to work from. But regardless of whether you're writing or whether you're editing, I really hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye bye.